Greetings everybody, Caddiedamus here. Welcome to the Hungarian Grand Prix AOR F8. Here we are on the grid, starting 10th. Not my best track, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Don't really feel comfortable at this track. Never have. So, anything inside the top 10 here, points, that's all I'm looking for. So, gonna try to do a one stop. Thinking I'm gonna go on to mediums. Don't know why, because when I did a couple practice races over the Christmas break, I did not feel good on the mediums. But anyway, I changed my mind about halfway through anyway and do a one stop onto the sauce, which hindsight was probably a mistake. But what are you gonna do? So here we are on the grid. Like I said, starting 10th, I got Danny UK, my teammate, right there, my left, in 9th. Jason in 8th, just in front of me. IEJ in 11th behind me. So hopefully I can get as good of a start as Britain. We'll see. 5 red lights, and we are off. Pretty good start, a little bit of wheel spin, but I'm able to get by Danny UK. I get to the left of Jason as we approach first corner. A lot can happen in this first corner, and you're going to see that in a second. And there we go. Unfortunately, Washi got tagged there as Noodle Doodle kind of missed his braking point. It happens. So 2x2 as we enter corner 2. Jason runs a little wide. I'm able to sneak by and sneak in front of Boniface. So, you know, feeling alright up into 6th, but I just know that I am probably not going to stay here because I really struggle on this track. So as we go into the chicane here, this corner can be so tricky. Either hit it good or not so good. So, and it's tough when you get that dirty air effect when you get behind people on this track. It's very pronounced. And this is a very hard track to overtake. Not a lot of opportunities. You know, the straights are your best chances. There's a couple corners where you can make some moves if you're in the right spot. But yeah, a lot of times you have to wait for people to make mistakes. And as you can see here in a second, I get a couple of freak positions thanks to that. And almost like synchronized losing the back end, like there's a patch of oil or something on the track. But yeah, I know that pain. I did that a few times in time trials. Losing the back end coming out of that corner. But moving on, into lap 2, going on to lap 3, and Boniface has been slowly catching up to me. I know he's faster, so I'm not going to put up too much of a fight here. He goes into my inside on the first corner, tap tires, and that's move done for him. You know, it's some of these tracks when I just don't feel 100% confident, I'm not going to put up a big fight just because I feel bad if I'm holding up drivers who would have legitimate chances at podiums or wins. I'm going to be honest with myself. You know, there's some tracks where I feel good, and yeah, I'll put up a fight. But there's a lot of them where, yeah, if you're faster than me, and I know it, I'm not going to put up a fight. So, end of lap 14 here, I decided to go into the pits finally. I really wanted to push these tires one more lap, but I was really starting to lose some time. Really falling off, so into the pits. Nice and slow, don't want to get that penalty too slow, rather go in slow than catch the penalty. I do have the wing dialed up a little bit here because I started with 911 wings and then decided to go to 1111 for the second half as the fuel started to burn off. Doing a couple practice races, I noticed that heavy fuel at 1111 wings car was very understeery. So anyway, you see Jason has now come out in front of me. The undercut has worked really well for him. He's put in some good laps on his fresh tires, and combined with my not so good laps on my old super soft. So Washi and Jason in front of me, so see what happens. You know, fresh tires, maybe I can get up and make a move and get back in front of Jason. Like he said, it was very tough to catch somebody and pass. You know, he commented on the forum that in the first stint he just couldn't quite get up to me and pass me. And yeah, I know his pain because that's exactly what happened to me in the second stint. So ride along board here for this lap is kind of closing in a little bit. So hopefully, I'm thinking, Jason and I have been pretty similar speeds at a lot of these tracks. We seem to find each other quite a bit. Some good racing between us. We try to be pretty respectful to each other and give each other enough room, which is nice. I gotta say, even though we're the lower tier in F8, we do some pretty competitive racing and fairly respectful of each other. Nobody's trying to be that guy, but I lock up a little bit going into the chicane, and just enough that I tap his back end. Not enough to screw him up or anything, but just enough to lose part of my front wing. And just enough where it was really causing me enough understeer to really be a pain. Really had to be very easy into some of these corners, especially right-handers. So now we fast forward up to lap number 24, near the end of it here, and this is all of a sudden I looked down and I saw that Denzamo was right here. I didn't even realize he was behind me or he was catching me that fast till I got right there, and then I realized he was behind me. So, excuse me, once again, I know he's faster, I know he's got fresher tires. I'm not going to put up a huge fight. He was quick in this race, so I feel bad what happened to him later on, but I wasn't going to hold him up here. If he had a chance to battle for a podium, I know I realistically didn't, so why be that guy? So now we fast forward, and they've driven out of sight, and now Jason has been just throwing the hammer down and catching me lap after lap. He's got fresh super softs. I have old softs, and part of my front wing is gone. So unfortunately, I just knew I wasn't going to have much to fight with here, and I really felt that it wasn't worth it. I had to make a decision, and thought that if I tried to fight him too hard, I would lose every bit of my tires, and either cause something more to happen, like, hit him inadvertently or spin out. So I just decided to let him by. My thinking was, I just cut a corner there, but that was actually only my second warning. So I felt if I could keep it clean, maybe ahead of me, this is an easy track to get penalties. So I was thinking maybe, who knows, maybe he had a penalty, and if I could stay within 3 seconds, maybe that would gain me a free position. So unfortunately he didn't. He drove a nice clean race. I didn't end up with any penalties. I was pretty happy with that. As we go down to the last lap here, honestly at this point I still thought I was running in 7th. I don't know if I was just in a zone or just, having to concentrate so hard to keep the car on the track that I didn't even notice that something had happened to Denzamo and he was back behind me. Even when I crossed the finish line, I was confused for a moment because, like I said, I just assumed I was in 7th. I hadn't really looked at the positions, and I was just really focused on keeping the car on the track, not cutting any corners, and don't know exactly what happened to him. I've seen the replay, and it kind of looked like he just lost the back end a little bit, and ended up having to pit. So, that was a free position for me. I feel bad because he had some good pace at this track. So, anyway, 6th place for me, starting 10th on the grid, getting up to 6th at, honestly, what's not one of my stronger tracks. So I'm pretty happy with that. Washi, after that first corner incident where he lost part of his front wing, he ended up 3rd, and that's really awesome for him. McQuiz with the win, so congratulations to him. And Boniface was 2nd, so, it was a good race all around, and Belgium is coming up next. We'll see how that goes, and I'd like to thank everybody who watched this, and, we'll see you next time in Belgium. AOR.